Slangin The Bizkit, episode 34. We have a guest this week that I am so stoked to have. As you can tell from the left of the screen on the video version, Pat Shea, not here. He is absent. He is at the Boston Logan International Airport, flying on his way to an East Coast game against the Florida Everblades, but that is okay. We still have an amazing episode. Calle Clang, goaltender for Rogle BK and the SHL, going to be playing for the team Sweden at the World Juniors this year. I can't even get it out of my mouth. I'm so excited. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thank you, bro. Excited to be here.
Yeah. How are you doing today? So you just got off the ice. You guys finished practice and everything for the day. And what's the plan for the rest of the day?
Yeah, as I said, finished practicing this morning, and then we're off the rest of the day here. And then tomorrow we fly out to Switzerland to play a series in the Champions League. So that'll be a fun game. Okay,
and so Champions League, the best way to describe it, because a lot of the people listening are from North America, they don't really understand how European hockey works. So Champions League is the interplay between different leagues, different countries, and whatnot. It's not a part of the actual SHL action. It's its own series, correct?
That's right. You're totally correct. It's like the Champions League in football too. It's kind of some teams from different places in Europe play a tournament, and then right now tomorrow the playoffs starting. So we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you got a busy schedule coming up, dude. You got the Champions League. Obviously, you guys are going to come back from that, I'm assuming next week, and then the World Juniors right around the pipeline. Then you guys you're heading to Canada for that, right?
Yeah, heading to Edmonton and Red Deer for Christmas, and the whole December are going to be in Edmonton. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. Yeah,
and your first World Junior experience, how stoked are you for that?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I was the third goalie last year in Edmonton too, so I didn't get any play time. But this year I hope to get some games and then get rolling. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I gotta say, so my dad listens to the podcast every single week. He is like, the second it goes up, he listens, and then an hour later he calls me back and tells me, son, this is what I like, this is what I didn't like. He's gonna call me and he's gonna get really disappointed after he hears this. So between the hospitality that both you and your fellow countryman Jesper Wallstedt have showed me, I wanted to come out on the podcast and announce, both in the video version and the audio version, and to my dad, I'm cheering for Sweden this year at the World Juniors. I will not be cheering for Team Canada. And I know there's a lot of people, both my parents, disappointed, but I'm so excited to watch this Swedish team play. Eklund's coming back from the San Jose Sharks. I got to see Wallstedt play for the first time live the other night. I've seen you play for Rogle live. It's just I am so excited for this World Junior tournament. I can't even begin to tell you how stoked I am for this, to watch you guys play.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good. We're going to have a good team. Like as I said, Eklund coming back. Maybe Holt is coming. Raymond, he's going to be in the NHL. But we got a really good team, and we have a really good chance to go first. So I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Do you have a custom Team Sweden setup coming in, or are you going to stick with the Rogle stuff for the gear?
No, I got set up for World Juniors. It would be awesome. Can't tell you anymore about it.
No, you can't tell him anymore?
No. He was
custom graphic?
Yeah.
Oh. You're gonna have to show me after the podcast. I'm curious to see this. But if you don't mind, we got to go through a couple viewers of the week and whatnot. So every week on the podcast, we go through a couple people that send an awesome story. They want to be viewer of the week, commenter of the week, shout out of the week, all that kind of stuff. Because we, Pat and I talked about this last week. Everybody's been kind of warming up to the podcast, and the podcast has been growing. And to everybody listening, to everybody watching, we appreciate your support. So our viewer of the week this week is Robert. Robert, the bubbly guy, loves bubbly, the carbonated water. And his boy Connor, goalie, had a great weekend. I think he pitched a shutout is what he told me. So Connor, shout out to you, buddy. You're our viewer of the week. And your dad, Robert, has been like a day one supporter of this podcast. So thanks to both of you. And as always, if you want to be viewer of the week, you want to be commenter of the week, send us a message, let us know. And you can be for next week, episode 35. One thing that we found, Pat and I found very successful with talking to Jesper Wallstedt was introducing the Q&A. Like as excited as I am to talk to you, Calle, and Pat was for Wallstedt as well, having the people that are listening to the podcast submit questions and we can kind of fire them your way, we found was a very entertaining way to get some very interesting answers. So are you up for a viewer submitted Q&A? Okay. So as always, to the people that did submit questions, there are some outrageous ones. There are some ones that I really liked, really creative, really serious ones. Obviously, there's quite a few that can't make the podcast, but that's okay. We keep chugging along, but we got some great ones. A couple simple ones. Landon Gertson wanted me to ask you: do you like dark or medium roast coffee? What's your preferred cup of Joe of choice?
I'm not a big coffee guy. I don't like that
What?
at all. Actually, no, I don't. I'm too young.
You're Swedish, correct? And you don't like coffee.
That's right.
What do you drink then? What do you like? What's your flavor of choice?
This one, Naco. That's my type of things.
Noko.
Yeah,
The energy drinks, the Swedish energy drinks.
that's right.
Are you sponsored by Noko by chance?
Nope, nope. I hope
Oh,
so. It would be good. But
we got to work on
Wallstedt,
one.
he Wallstedt sent me someone. He's sponsored by them, so I got some from him.
Is he sponsored by Noko or IQ Fuel as well?
Both, both.
Oh my God, that guy's got so many sponsorships.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I went down to the Warrior Factory, or I guess headquarters in Gothenburg a couple like a week or two ago, and they had like a whole IQ Fuel like setup. They had like a whole like refrigerator just decked to the nines with every flavor of IQ Fuel. And the Warrior rep says to me, he's like, "Oh, you got to try this. This is like the Monster Energy of Sweden. You'll love it." I said, "Okay, sure." So I try a couple flavors. It's good. I like this one. I like that one. And he says to me, he's like, "You want to take a couple for the road?" I said, "Sure." So I ended up filling my pockets with like 6 or 7 drinks as I'm heading out the door. And I posted a little Instagram story, and then I tagged them, and IQ Fuel saw it. So they're pretty active on the social, and they got some really really good drinks. I guess they're not in North America, so a lot of people wouldn't maybe know about them, but they got some really really good stuff. The Swedish berries one really got me.
Oh man, I think Backstrom's is so good too. His design, it's like blueberry lime or something. It's so good.
Yeah, to explain to the people listening, so the IQ Fuel, what Callie means by the Backstrom edition. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Callie. Nicholas Backstrom, Jesper Bratt, and I'm thinking one other player, like they own or they're part shareholders in the company, correct?
That's right. That's right.
So they have their own flavor of drinks. You have the Nicholas Backstrom, like you mentioned, the blue raspberry. The Jesper Bratt was, I want to say like a fruit punch flavor, and then there's another one. I can't remember the other one.
It's a football player called Alexander Isak. He's real famous here in Sweden. I think
Okay.
it's just those three guys.
Yeah, they got some amazing drinks. Seriously cool drinks, and the cans, like the Swedish crowns and the Swedish colors, are really kind of cool. So they're popping everywhere over here in Sweden. If you're North American, you never heard of them. What other kind of deals does Wallstedt have? He's got the Bauer deal. He's got IQ Fuel. He's got Noco. He's got 2 energy drinks. Like, what more can the guy need?
I don't know. Barbell, have you tried it? I
No, what's
think he's
barbell?
sponsored by them too. Like protein bars and protein milkshakes too. I think he's sponsored by them too. So
Really?
shout out to him. Big guy.
Oh, he was talking to us on our podcast about 2 weeks ago about how he loves Ram trucks, or like big jacked up Rams, and obviously like Minneapolis, the St. Paul area, they 1,000,001 Ram dealerships. So it's only a matter of time before he comes into Minnesota, gets his Ram dealership, and he's whipping around and a lift kit, windows tinted, F-150 or the Ram 1500 or the Chevy Colorado, whatever his poison of choice is. But
He'll be good. He needs to get
yeah,
one himself.
question for you though. So Wallstedt, played some games of the World Juniors last year. You were the third guy, and then this year you're going to be goalie partners for the World Juniors. You spent, I would assume, a good amount of time with him. What are some things you picked up on him or picked up from him, both on and off the ice, that just kind of leave you thinking about like, wow, like that's kind of cool. Maybe I should implement that in my game, or wow, like I never thought of that.
Like as you said, we've been friends for a long time now. First time we met was in under 16 national team here in Sweden, and so we played like a couple of tournaments together, and yeah, he's a fantastic guy. First of all, he's outside of hockey. He's a tremendous guy. We're really close friends, and I really like to spend time with him. And on ice, he's a top guy. I mean, you don't make this a show when you're 16 if you're not good. So I mean,
Yeah.
he's really good. And then Minnesota made a good pick picking him the 20th overall. That's it's unbelievable. First Swedish guy who went in the first round as a goalie. It's amazing, and I'm just glad to spend some time with him.
Okay, but what's the one thing that jumps out at you that like, wow, like this is the best thing that he does. This is his moneymaker, his bread and butter.
Like on ice, it's his calmness. He's so calm and he's so poised in every situation. He never gets stressed. That's like the thing I picked up most on his game is he never gets stressed. That's pretty amazing.
And when you say not stressed. Just kind of like relate this back to like maybe like some younger players or goalies that are listening. More so like he doesn't stress because he knows the answer to the test. He knows the answer to whatever the opposition is bringing on to him. He knows what they're going to do, and he knows what he's going to do to make that save and control that rebound and dominate the game, which is what he's been doing for however long.
Yeah, he's always one step ahead of the play, and that's, I think, his biggest strength as a goalie. It's just because he reads the game really good, and he's always in time, and it looks so easy when he plays. He never does kind of big saves, stretchy saves. He's always in position. Like he's really good.
Yeah, and he's a unit. Like what is he? 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'4", I think.
6'4". So big guy, can move, calm, poised, all that stuff. His puck handling is amazing. The thing that jumped out to me the most was, so I was supposed to go to the Luleå Rogle game about 3-4 weeks ago, like when you guys played in Rogle, but the guy I was going to go with ended up getting COVID, so we didn't go. And I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to watch you guys play. But seeing him play live the other night for Sweden for the first time, what really jumped out was just like this like confidence. Like he knows he's the man. He like there's nothing you're gonna do that's gonna rattle this guy, and he knows that he's gonna dominate you.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that's one part of his game, and also that he looks so calm. He's not getting nervous. He's not never get nervous. I mean, as I said, he broke the SHL when he was 16. You don't do that if you're too nervous and you're shaking when you go out there. He knows he's good, and that's good.
Yeah. And so what's one thing in your game that you think just jumps off the page for like what makes you elite? Because like last season in the Allsvenskan, you threw up a 931, 932. Not a big deal.
No, no. I mean, yeah, I'm okay with that. But I think the biggest part of my game is pretty much the same as Wallstedt. I try to be one step ahead of the game, of the plays all the time. I'm really good at reading the game, like being one step ahead, and then my technique is pretty fine too, and I move my body pretty good, and I'm not that too big guy. I'm 6'2", and I think I can play with my how you say, my strengths are like reading the game and be on the right time. So that's two of my biggest parts.
You know what I found kind of crazy the other day? So to kind of paint a little picture, if you're listening, so Calle, first off, amazing goalie. I would say, and I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, I think you're a better guy, in my experience so far, than a goalie, because, he took care of some tickets for me the other day, and you didn't have to, which I really appreciate. And you got me into the Sweden game, into the Rogle game, and so the Sweden game, the Sweden-Finland game, wasn't totally sold out. So me and the two guys that I went with, we kind of bounced around the arena, like different seats for different periods and whatnot. And we ended up sitting kind of like in the scouts section, as well as like the friends and family section for, like your president, Chris, he was sitting around us and all that kind of stuff. And I overheard a scout saying that, like talking about like size for goalies, and I didn't know who they were talking about because I couldn't get a good listen, but I heard them talking about just how like guys that are like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", like you and me or whatnot, are just like almost average size nowadays. Like that's the expectation. You know what I mean? Like the 6'6", 6'7", that's like what guys want, and 6'2" 6'3" is the average. It's kind of crazy how it's changed.
When my draft year I talked to, I don't know, can't remember the team I talked to, but the goalie coach, they said they don't draft any guys who's under 6'2", and I was like, I'm 6'2", but he said they haven't drafted a goalie in 5 years who's not who's more than 6'2".
So hold on, can I ask what team that is?
I don't know. I can't remember what team it was, but I think it was 2 or 3 teams who said the same thing.
Really? So if you're 6'1" or under, like it doesn't matter. You could have a 998 save percent. You're off the list. See you later.
They doesn't look at you. It doesn't look at you at all.
It's crazy how it's changed, because you have guys like, and I'm curious for your take on this. You have guys like UC Saros, 5'10", I believe. Eero Halak, 5'11". But like outside of that, like there's a gap, and I know it seems like the social media goalie community seems to think that like there's being a comeback for a smaller goalie these days. But like you just said, you're talking to the guys making the decisions, the money makers, the scouts and whatnot. And they're saying 6'2" is the minimum. That is the cutoff. That is the barrier to entry. 6'1" ain't gonna cut it. We're not talking to you.
It's crazy. I mean, you can be a good goalie if you're 5'10" or 5'11", as I said. I mean, Jussi Saros, he's in my opinion, he's one of the best goalies in the league. So I mean, I think it's ridiculous to just say we don't look at any goalies under 6'2". I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they know what they want, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Which is crazy. Speaking of which, this was the most popular question in the entire Q&A, and it was the first thing that jumped out at me when I saw you live, especially in the warm-ups the other day, and I got to ask, and please, no BS answers on this one. What is the reason you jump into the crease, you step over the crease? You never, like when you come into the crease, your skate never touches the red line outlining the crease. It's always from the white to the blue, never touching the red.
I heard this question too many times. I really don't know why. It's just something I've done, I think, 5, 6, 7, 8 years back all the time. Yes, not touch the red line, but I don't know. It's kind of my thing, and I like to do it, so I'm gonna stay with it.
Like, what about like when you're actually playing though? Because I would imagine at some point your skate has to touch the red line.
Of course, not on the when I'm playing. It's just between the face-offs and after power breaks and those kind of those kind of situations, but not on the game.
So like it just kind of like makes you comfortable. It's like your thing. It's good for setting the feng shui.
Yeah, and when you do the same things all the time, it makes you feel confident and feel strong. So I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay. What are some more weird things you do? Like in your honest, humble opinion, what are some like maybe outside the box things that you do?
Like, I don't know if I have any crazy things like that. I think I'm just like to do the same things all the time. Like my warm up is always the same. I skate in the same circles, be in the same spots, and shoot 2 pucks before I go and drink water. Like those kind of stuff. It's the things I'm doing all the time, and not things that is pretty weird or strange. It's just the things I need to do to feel comfortable and feel ready.
I noticed it. It's a very specific amount of shots, and then you leave the net, and then you come back, specific shots, take or leave the net. Like you mentioned, shoot 2 pucks and then leave. Is it the same way throughout the entire warm-ups?
Yeah, always the same through the warm-ups. I think that's a thing I really feel when I do the same things. I really feel strong. I really feel confident, and that works for me. And I think that's the main reason why I'm doing it. It's because it works for me.
JB, Jordan Binnington. We talked a little bit about like confidence, like Wallstedt's confidence, like you having confidence. Like, what's your take on Jordan Binnington's confidence? Just like on both in the crease and some of the extra antics that he gets himself into.
I mean, I think he did some stuff when he came up in the NHL, like those interviews when he was kind of. I mean, that's his kind of business. I don't really care about it, but I think it's funny to watch. I mean, those things he did last year was. It was funny to watch, but I don't want to do it myself.
Like swinging the stick at guys' faces and like pretending to block them in the face. Like
that's not my type of games, but yeah.
You know, he reminds me of like that kid in high school. Like I think everybody's had that kid they went to school with where, you know, you're out at recess, whatever, playing, you know, you're in gym class and he just comes up to you. He's like, oh, you know, made you flinch. And he just like, you know, pumps in your face like, 2 for flinching kind of deal, you know?
Yeah. I would get so pissed if someone did it to me.
Like if they, you know, did like a fake blocker swing or a fake stick swing at you?
Yeah, I'd be really pissed.
Were you ever a big like Looney Tunes kind of guy growing up?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, so Looney Tunes is like a cartoon in North America, like you know, Bugs Bunny, Tweety Bird, all that kind of stuff. Does this ring a bell, or is this not a European thing?
No, I don't think it's a European thing. Not Swedish, actually.
Okay, so the to kind of bring this around full circle, in Looney Tunes, there's a big dog named Spike, right? And then they have like a smaller dog. I can't remember what the dog's name is, but the small dog is always trying to like attack somebody, right? And so the small dog is like purposefully running into the big dog. And it's like, come on, Spike, let me at him. But it's like you're running into the big dog on purpose, so you can't get at them. It's kind of what Jordan Binnington does. Like he goes after guys, and then the referee gets in the way. The team comes in the way, and then he gets really, really tough when somebody's coming in to separate. Which I find so entertaining. Like in a world where it feels like hockey's kind of lacking that personality. Like it's refreshing to see something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right there. It's some of those crazy things you can see on the YouTube from late 80s or what it is, like Ron Hextall going up to some guys. I mean, you can't see that anymore, and I think that's kind of boring sometimes too. It would be fun to see some of those crazy things again.
I mean, a guy skating right like to corner and go wood chop a guy at the back of the ankle.
That's not have to happen every day here.
Yeah, like especially like in Europe, I just imagine one of the guys on the bench, like Ron Hextall, skating in the corner, chop Chelios. Oh shit, Ronnie's off his meds again, boys. Shit, we better go out there and diffuse the situation or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe something like that with JB. But he's got I think he's got a mattress sponsorship. Speaking of goalies and sponsorships,
What do you mean?
like he was doing some promo work on Instagram for like a mattress company. Like he's got like an official like Jordan Binnington mattress.
Oh, I've never seen that.
I was thinking the other day, like the like McDonald's is like in different locations. They have like a certain like a specialty meal, like a Travis Scott meal or like a BTS meal. Like when you get like your own brand of like something, that's when you've kind of made it. If you could have something like that, what would it be? Like the Calle Clang meal or the Calle Clang item, just the specialty.
I don't know. Like, I don't eat too much of McDonald's. I like Max more. Like, if you talk hamburgers, I mean, it's Max is so good. And actually, we have in some cities here in Sweden where they have a hockey team. I think Luleå has it, like the Luleå meal, where you can buy their meal, and that's like the same meal on every place, but different team logo. So, but we don't have it actually here in Ängelholm. That would be good if we had.
If so, like when you go to Max, like what's your go-to order, your go-to burger?
I like the triple cheese one, or cheese and bacon. I think that's my go-to burgers. But I'm really into to try new things and try new burgers too. So, but the triple cheese is really good.
Yeah, it's a simple burger, just beef, cheese, onions, a little bit of pickles, and you're off and you're running. Are you a shake guy? You get a shake with that too?
Yeah, I mean those shakes is so good. It's crazy.
What's your favorite shake? What's the best shake on the menu?
I like the chocolate shake. I mean, I'm not a super fancy guy. I like those easy things.
Yeah, simple. So you're not getting the espresso, the cappuccino shake or anything.
No, that's not my cup.
Or any like the vegan replacement specials and whatnot.
No, I mean, as I said, I'm a pretty simple guy. I like it simple and easy.
Yeah, they have a couple specialty burgers. They had the Korean barbecue. That one was really good, and then the crispy nacho one that I guess that they're running right now. That one smacks so hard.
We can't talk about this. I'm gonna be too hungry.
Oh, we'll have to take an intermission break. We'll pick up the podcast at a Max in Ängelholm or whatnot. But speaking of which, we're going to take a quick commercial break, pay some bills, and tell you about the first sponsor for today's podcast. Folks at Manscaped.com. They're here to help everybody out. Everybody's got a little bit of body hair. You're looking to get rid of it. It's the holiday season. Maybe you still got that winter coat. Well, gentlemen, it's time to get rid of it. The Manscaped Lawnmower 4, it's got 90 minutes of battery life. If you're watching the video version, you see this thing. It's got an LED flashlight, so if you're in the dark, maybe you're in a cave somewhere. I don't know why you'd be in a cave late at night, but you can take that and you can use it. Take care of your all your unwanted body hair as well. Maybe a lot of guys that got nose hairs. I know my dad, he's got massive ear hairs. I actually got to call my dad after this podcast and tell him, hey, we got to get rid of that sometime, Dad. But the Weed Whacker, Manscaped's got a little bit of something for everybody. And as usual, you're going to go to manscaped.com. There's a link in the video description notes as well as the podcast notes. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, promo code BIZKIT, BIZKIT. It's going to get you 20% off. And unfortunately, Pat won't be able to ship your order, but I will be able to. So I'll head down to the Manscaped factory in San Diego. We'll package it. We'll sign it. Maybe we even get Calle to come down, kind of, do a little bit of free PR work. Shake hands, kiss baby, sign a couple of the lawnmower packages, and we'll get it out the door for you. So again, thanks to Manscaped as always for sponsoring the podcast and keeping us afloat, even without Pat. So thanks to them. As we move on, question for you. And we ask this to every single guest we have on. Are you single or are you taken, man?
No, I'm taking.
Oh, you're taken, man. Okay, so you have a lucky Mrs. C.
That's right.
What? So how did you guys meet? What was the story behind you two falling in love?
Like we went to the same school, and then that was kind of 4 years ago. First time we met, so we we met in the school, and then we started. She was adding me on Snapchat, and then was on my way.
That's where all the good relationships start, right? Snapchat.
It is.
Yeah, and so same age group.
Yep.
Okay. What does she do for work or for school?
Yeah, like now she's quit school. She's done with school, so she's working, and now she's gonna move to Switzerland actually, and be working in a hotel there and be there for 4.5 months. So that'll be pretty tough months, but she's looking forward to it. So I'm happy for her.
Okay. When is she taking off?
December, early December.
Okay, so right around, yeah, I guess around the same time you're taking off for the World Juniors then.
Yeah, I think it's 1 week before I take off, so that was kind of good. Schedule.
Yeah, so knock off 1 month, and then you're down to 3 months. Is this the first time you guys are going to be doing long distance?
Yeah, first time.
Okay. And how long have you guys been together again?
3.5 years.
Okay. So you have any plans for working the long distance?
No, I just bought a new PlayStation, so that would be pretty much ours on that one. But yeah, we'll see. There'll be some
Well, yeah.
FaceTime calls too.
Yeah, all the free time that I have, I don't have to spend with her. I'm just going to spend it playing PlayStation and Grand Theft Auto 5. She's going to love that.
Yeah.
Like my woman, she's back home in Canada, and so I guess we're going on. I guess this would be like month 5 of me not being home, and she always gives me a hard time because like obviously like we have a huge time difference, 7 hours I guess, between Winnipeg and Sweden, and it's 3 in the afternoon. I'm telling her, honey, I gotta shut her down. I gotta hit the hay, go to bed. She's like, come on, give me some more attention. I just got off work. You've only talked to me for a half hour. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like this is like the way the time change is. But you're lucky that you don't have much of a time zone difference at all, right? Sweden is the same as Switzerland.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Or
so you're
maybe
gonna
an
be on.
hour or something. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, so you'll be on call at all times, picking up whenever she's FaceTiming you.
Yeah, when I'm done playing PlayStation, I can call her.
Yeah. Honey, just hold on. The game's online. Yeah, yeah, just 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. And we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
Mom, yeah, it's online. It's an online. You can't pause it. This isn't story mode. I think we've all gone through one of those where you tell mom or you tell the woman, oh, it's online. You can't put the controller down right now.
More than one. More than once.
And then she takes it and she unplugs. And she's like, okay, you can give me some attention now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? We got a couple more questions. We got some really interesting ones. Somebody wanted to know. So for you, you're playing for Rogle. Rogle is a paid professional league. How exactly does getting paid to play hockey work for you? Like, so you're coming from the Allsvenskan, you jump up to the SHL and Rogle. Would you say this is technically your second year, or this is your first year?
This is my first year in SHL.
Okay, because you played one game last year and then were on loan to Oskarshamn, right?
No, Christiansen.
Okay, my bad. So as far as like getting paid for hockey goes, how exactly does that work for you in the SHL?
Like we're getting paid every month, every month in a year. So I have a contract I signed 2 years. So this is my first year in the contract, and then I have next year too, and then we'll see what happens. But we're getting paid every month.
Okay. And so the 2 years, is that a standard deal, or was what you opted for when you came to Rogle?
No, that's a standard deal between the whole league. Every junior guy has the same.
So you have to sign for 2 years.
No, you can't sign 1 year, but like the deal is the same for everyone who's on a rookie contract. They call.
Okay, like an entry level kind of deal.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same.
Okay, and then to kind of bounce off that, so if we're being honest, dude, like you were a stud last year, like Neil Svensson, like you threw up that 931, 932, whatever it was, played 30, 40 games, whatever. Now you're coming to the SHL. Like what? Like can you break down for people listening at home and also in the video version, like what is the difference? Like you go, from one very high level to being very dominant. Now you're jumping up a level. Obviously, like there's a little bit of a step to that. Like what are you picking up on the differences there?
I think there's kind of one big difference between Allsvenskan and SHL. The players are more smarter here. They don't take any bad, if you can call it bad shots, and they're really thinking of anything they do. And I think the players are more skilled here. The pace is a little bit higher, but as I said, the biggest point is they're smarter. So you need to read the game better, and I think that's been one of my problems. Pretty much struggling in the beginning here is I haven't been reading the game so good I did last year. So that's the thing we worked on really much, me and my goalie coach, and I feel like it's going better and better, and I feel more confident in my game. So I'm on the right track.
Okay. And the goalie coach, is this your personal goalie coach, or this is the guy that you're working with in Rogle?
Oh, that's a guy we work on with Rogle.
Okay. What's his name?
Peter
Peter
Hirsch. He's a Danish guy.
Okay, shout out Peter.
He's a
Um,
good one.
yeah. So when you're talking about like having your reads be better, like we're talking about patience, or like what specifically, like did you notice was a big problem? Like why guys were scoring at first versus now you've made a couple of adjustments and things are going a little bit like a little bit better.
I think I might be too aggressive on those first plays, so they find the backdoor plays pretty much. I think that's one big difference between SHL and Allsvenskan, the backdoor plays. I mean, those guys is so smart, so they can find those backdoor plays when you're too far out in the crease, you're too aggressive. They find those backdoor plays. That doesn't happen too much in Allsvenskan, so that was one adjustment we did. A little bit more far in and try to read the game more than being aggressively too far out and be one step behind. So that's the biggest thing is like be one step ahead. That's the main reason why it feels better now than before.
Okay, and a little bit more patience as well with, I guess the play reading on those.
I think that's going on the same direction. I mean the patience and the be one step ahead is pretty much the same for me.
Yeah. And then in the Allsvenskan, what do you think was one thing that led you to be so dominant, so successful, like so early on?
I mean, I had an amazing goal coach, Joel Jesus. Shout out to him. He was tremendous. I mean, I had before Christmas, I think I had 8 or 9 games, and then when I come home from the World Juniors, I posted up a 26 game streak or something. So I got a lot of confidence playing a lot, and my team we had some struggle. We went dead last in the standings. We played for relegation, and we won the fifth game up in Väsby and get a new contract in Allsvenskan. So it was a tough season for our team, but it was good for me to get the experience, play against men and a high level, and play a lot of games. So I think the biggest one was I get to play. That was building my confidence up.
Yeah, because you're only 19 as well, correct? You're an O2.
I was 18 last year, so it was kind of hard to play those really tough games with relegation games when you're so young. But I think I grow really much last year from playing those tough games.
Yeah. And what do you think was the biggest thing to pick up on going through those struggles?
I mean, as I said, I had an amazing goal coach. He helped me a lot in the mindset. I mean, it wasn't too much work, on ice. That wasn't the big problem. The problem was, or not problem, but the biggest challenging thing was the mental side. Playing 3 to 4 games every week from Christmas to April was tough. I haven't played so many games before, and not on that level, and not on that like it was every game was really important for us to win. So I mean, I think we worked really much on just believe in myself, just believe in my game, and be happy for the opportunity to play much games because you never know when you're gonna play every night again.
Yeah. And do you think that was more like a mental or a physical thing? Like you're just breaking down. You're like, oh, like, I really don't want to do this today, man. I just want to, fire up the PlayStation and play some GTA instead.
No, I mean, I think this is one thing my goal coach told me a couple of years ago. Like, your body can be like tired. You can feel like you're not being on your toes every night. But when your head is with you, you can do a good game when your body doesn't feel good. But you can't do a good game when your body feels good and your mind is not there. So that was one thing I really took with me.
So the mind is key.
The mind is key always.
It's all mindset, baby. And so, what does a typical day look like? Like to kind of paint like a picture for like over the course of a week. So like a Monday to Monday kind of deal. Now that like you're with Rogle, you mentioned earlier like you're skating for a couple hours a day in the morning on a day like today where you're not playing a game. Like what does that whole week look like for you, start to
Yeah,
finish?
yeah. Like this week is pretty special because we play in the Champions League. We doesn't do that too often. I mean, we played 4 games in the CHL so far, and this is gonna be our fifth game. So this week we practice Monday, and then we have a morning skate tomorrow, and then we fly out to Switzerland and play a late game. I think it's 20 o'clock or something on the night. So and then we stay at the hotel in Zurich, and then we fly back on Wednesday, day off, and then we play Thursday home against Frölunda, and then we travel to Karlstad with bus 6-7 hours bus to Karlstad on Friday, play Saturday, and then we're off Sunday.
Okay. In your day off, what are you gonna do on the day off? Like, what's your like? Are you just totally like relaxing in front of the PlayStation, or you going for food, or what are you doing?
I like to just get my mind off from hockey, like doing something else, not think about hockey at all. So but we'll see. This Sunday, my family comes and gonna visit, or me and my brother living in the same apartment. So we might have a chill day home, just relaxing. Maybe got a movie or something going.
Okay, so you said you and your brother live together.
Yeah.
Okay, older or younger?
No, he's younger. He turned 15. No, yeah, he's turning 16 in February.
Okay, you guys ever have any fights?
No, not yet. He's not getting any food if he's a bad guy. So
Oh, so you're holding them accountable.
yeah, of course, I do
It's
everything
like,
at home.
it's like keeping the feeding the creature in the dungeon. You just throw some food over the wall, and here you go. You can have your meal for the night. Don't feed the bears.
Yeah, that's
And just one sibling.
yeah. No, I get 3 siblings actually. Two older, one sister and one brother. So, but they're much older than me.
Anybody playing hockey or just you?
No, just me and my brother.
Okay, and okay, and I'm curious. I tell my dad this all the time, and he always gives me like a cop out like BS answer. Do you ever tell your parents that like, hey, like I'm the favorite child, like I was number one, I'm the best? You ever do that?
I don't need to tell them that. I think everyone knows that I'm it.
You know, I tell my mom and my dad that sometimes like the exact same thing. Like I'm number one. I came out first. Like it doesn't get any better. You couldn't top a grade A performance. But you have three siblings to compete with. I guess a round total of four. But like, do your parents ever show signs that they know who the favorite is?
No, they don't. They're pretty good at keeping all on the same level, but I know I know I'm their favorite.
Yeah. Like they try not to show any biases, and they try to tell you, oh, I love all my kids equally. I can never pick. They give you that BS answer.
I heard it sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but deep down, like they do have a favorite. They're never going to admit it to you.
No, they're not gonna say it, but I know it.
I was telling my mom the other day, like she, I FaceTimed her, and like in Winnipeg, they're having like a massive snowstorm blizzard right now, and obviously like here in Sweden, like there's no snow and any sign coming of it. And my mom's, she's outside, she's getting just like covered in snow, and I was like, so it's now a good time to remind you that I'm your favorite child, because when I was home, I would shovel your driveway, and obviously my sister doesn't. She's like, I'm not talking about this. I have two kids that were built very differently, but I love them equally.
That's right. You heard it too many times.
Yeah. One snow blows a driveway, one doesn't. But anyway, I have my biases. You have your biases. We'll never know the true answer for who they like better. We only got a couple more questions left for the Q&A. They're, I guess, more serious ones, and we could probably breeze them pretty quickly. But who do you think the funnest team to play against in the SHL is? Like funnest team to play against and funnest rink to go into. And you can't say your own barn. That's not an acceptable answer.
Okay. We haven't played against all teams yet. I think we played against 10 or 12 teams, but I think the funniest game is against Malmö. That's a derby game. I think it's a rivalry game. One hour drive from Ängelholm, so that's might be the funniest game to play. And next week we're going to Malmö, play in a road game against them. So that's a game I really look forward to.
And do they have a bigger arena than Rogle, or it's a decent sized one?
No, they have a bigger one. I think it's 12,000 or something. So
Wow.
I think it's gonna be a packed house. So we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Obviously, I haven't been to all the rinks, but the Rogle Arena, it only fits about 4,500 people, 4,000 people, give or take. Correct?
Yeah, 5,000. Yeah, my 5,000.
Yeah, but the atmosphere is great because everybody's kind of jam packed in there. It's it's loud. It's a really really good atmosphere as opposed to like a bigger rink where it's just kind of more spaced out, I guess.
Yeah, I really like it.
And are you gonna get nervous for those games with the big crowds? Like when you go to Frölunda, you go to Malmo, any of the bigger arenas?
No, not really. I think this is my first year with crowd on the games. So first couple of games were a little bit nervous, but no, it's just fun to play against a lot of people.
And I guess there has to have been a time where like you were getting nervous for games. Like when you were, I guess Trevor wanted me to ask you, what were you doing to counter those nerves?
I think it's hard to do something to make it go away. I think you're just gonna fight with it. I think if you just go through it a couple of times, you might feel better after one time or two times. So that was kind of how I did it.
So you're saying just like accept it for what it is and move on.
Yeah, I think that was how I did, and that worked pretty good for me. But I never get like really nervous before a game. I think I'm not a bad guy who's getting nervous. I think it was first game with the full house against Forest. That was kind of a bit shaky, a little bit nervous. But after a couple of minutes, it felt really good, and it was just so fun to play in front of those fans.
Yeah, not even for when the old lady comes to watch you play live.
Hmm?
Like when your girlfriend, when your old lady comes to watch you play, does it make you nervous?
No, that's not making me nervous.
No.
She's always there, so it's good to have her there.
Yeah, if anything, it makes it a little bit easier. It's like, oh, old lady's up in section J up there. Oh shit, I should have probably got her some better seats. These seats gonna suck for her tonight. She's gonna tell me about that later.
I don't think she cares about the seats really. She's not a big hockey fan.
Really?
No, she's not. She thinks it's funny to watch when I play, but she would never watch a game home in the Friday night.
So she's just like an all around, just like a really good supportive woman, I guess.
Yeah, she is. But in home, we never talk about hockey. Sometimes she was like, oh, how the game went, and I was like, yeah, we won 2-0. She was like, oh, okay, did you let any goals in? I was no 2-0. Okay, oh, that's good.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, shutout, 0 goals. Okay, yeah. What do you guys talk about then? Like, what are your common interests between you and the old lady?
Like we have a couple of Netflix series who we watch together. Like we right now we're watching Prison Break for the first time for me, second time for her. So we really like to do those kind of things together, and then go away, watch some shows, be on eating a good food, and that's kind of our interests.
Yeah. So you're watching for the second time. Is she like a movie watcher where like you're watching and she's asking a million questions, or no?
No, she's not. She's pretty good to watch movies with.
Oh, dude, my woman is that way. Like, we'll watch a movie and she'll be asking like 10,000 questions within the first 10 minutes. I'm like, I can't explain this to you. You gotta like watch it, just like learn, you know?
Yeah, that's right. And that's pretty much the same when we watch a hockey game. She was like, "What's icing? What's offside?" I was like, "Shut up! You know it."
I think one of the most confusing things for a fan to kind of understand is like the refs when they go to the box and they signify like what the penalty was. Like some of the penalty call signals, like they don't line up with like what is actually being done. I feel like as a non-hockey fan, that'd be really confusing to kind of pick up on.
Yeah, I think it's as I said, it's really confused for some things, and for us, it's pretty much like, yeah, you know why it's happening and what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah. Who's the cook between the two of you? Who cooks better?
I don't know. I want to say myself, but I don't think she would agree. But I say myself.
Okay, and why do you say yourself, and why would she not agree?
I think because I'm not cooking at all. She's always cooking, and when I'm doing it, it's going pretty good. But she's the one who's cooking at home.
So she's Mrs. Consistency, like night in, night out. She's whipping up dinner, and then you roll in there like on a Sunday night, like, hey, check out this craft dinner I just made. It is sick.
Yes, that's right.
It's like, Calle, that's not impressive. I did that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Did it twice last week, actually. You didn't even notice. You weren't home for the meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what is your pregame meal? Reese wanted me to ask you what your pregame meal is.
My pregame meal is chicken, rice, and curry. That's the go-to meal.
Like Indian curry, stir fry Indian curry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and homemade, or you go to a certain joint to go and have it?
No, we get it from the rink, from our restaurant up in the arena, so it's pretty good.
Okay, and is that a team chef, or that's just pre-made meals coming in?
It's a team chef, so we get a couple of different meals to choose, and I always go with the chicken.
And what are the other options outside of the curry?
I think it's some fish, fish and potatoes, and pasta bolognese.
Okay. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, leave a comment down below. I'm curious, what are you picking if you're in Calle's shoes? Are you getting the curry? Are you getting the pasta? Are you getting the fish dish? I think there might be like one person who's like, oh, yeah, I love the fish. The fish is always a great choice. Give me like a blackened cod, but I think everybody else is going to probably side with the curry. That sounds pretty good if I'm being honest with that one. Gordy wants to know favorite snooze flavor.
Oh, I don't snooze.
You don't snooze?
No.
Doesn't snooze, no coffee. Dude, you can't be a Swede. Like, there's going to be people like coming and filing complaints on this podcast for like what we've revealed today.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of snooze or coffee.
Nah, I'm going to have to trade you to like Finland or something like that. Get you over there. Ryan wants to know, my son is a younger goalie. What is the biggest tip that you would give for a younger goalie?
Just have fun. I think that's the main reason why I'm where I'm right now. I think that's because I enjoy every moment. I enjoy every single day going to practice and being with the guys. I think that's really a key to succeed.
Yeah. Okay, and final question of the day. I love this one, and I think this is the perfect one to end on. Nick wants to know, A, is Henrik Lundqvist a god? And B, what do you think of his hair?
Yeah, he's a god, and his hair is amazing.
You've met him in person?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I met Anders Nilsson at your guys' game the other day, and I met Hank a couple years ago, like in downtown Winnipeg. I would say, this is a very, very hot take, Anders Nilsson may have better hair than Hank, and he is just ripped, Anders Nilsson.
He is, yeah, as I said. But I think Henrik is a very good-looking guy overall. But Anders is good-looking too, so it's kind of hard to pick one.
Okay, but you're picking Hank over Anders Nilsson.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, this is going to stir up a lot of people. I'm taking Anders, like the hair, the silky flow. But Hank is in like every single commercial in Sweden, Head and Shoulders, all that kind of stuff. He's everywhere.
Yeah, I was on the Head and Shoulders commercial with him a couple of years ago.
Really? Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, should be.
Okay, I'm gonna try in the video version to pull that commercial up and put it on the video version. If you're watching and there's no commercial, then I couldn't find it, but I'm gonna try and put that on. But anyway, dude, it was awesome having you. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. As always, for those listening, we do a video version up on YouTube every single week. Every Thursday, new episodes of the video version. Normally, when Pat's here, you can see his expressions for the dumb shit that comes out of my mouth. Unfortunately, you just have to deal with me and Calle for this week. Audio version, Apple, Spotify, Google, everywhere you get your podcast. And as always, just want to say thank you to everybody for listening, for the support for the podcast, and also, Calle for coming out. So if you get a chance, give Calle a follow on Instagram. We're going to get him to 10,000 followers, hopefully sometime in the near, very, very soon future. And any final words to conclude the podcast, my friend?
Oh, yes, thank you for having me. It was really fun.
Awesome, dude. We'll see you next Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern for the next episode of the podcast. Talk to you soon. That was awesome, dude.